put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place to place. Good morning.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Here we have just about 2 more days left. Well, if you include today, 3 days left to the end of 2021. I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago, good morning Trinidad, Caribbean, those of you viewing us on the live. Good morning. I think Julian had a lot more pep in his step this morning.
Yes. You know, it's that kind of energy and excitement. A few days left for the year and the hopes and aspirations and dreams for 2022. You know, that you really, in a time like now, especially within a pandemic, you really have to look forward, you know, to that greater day, to better times ahead down the road. And, you know, that ultimately should help to keep us going.
That's right, to fuel us,
yes.
for at least for over the next few days, and even as we begin the new year. Now, you know, Julian, as we start the new year, in fact, as we look at ending off the old year, going into a new year, a lot of persons have a lot of dreams, aspirations, a lot of New Year's resolutions, things that we didn't do well in the old year that we pledged to do better in the new year. Now, life has shown us, Julian, that, you know, things happen. And I'm saying here, have a plan, yes, but don't be disappointed when the plan does not come to fruition.
That's so true, because at the end of the day, we have a situation where we have to remind persons constantly that you don't have to just wait for the beginning of the year in order to make that commitment. Yes, the beginning of the year is an ideal time to make that comment, folks, and to make that commitment. But at the end of the day, really, they can look to what might be other times within the year, you know, to remind yourself of that responsibility. Because even when we set long-term goals, occasionally, you know, we make adjustments, we modify and so on to remind ourselves of that critical responsibility. So we are 2 more days to go. If you include today, it's 3 more days left today, Thursday and Friday, to wrap up 2021. Now is the time to start thinking about how am I going to make sure that I achieve all those goals that I have set for 2022. Rhea.
Definitely. Julian, before we get into the meat of things, we've got some anniversaries and birthdays.
Yes.
So I seem to be leading with that this morning. Usually it's your,
head off. Take the lead.
Usually that's your call. So we got some, in fact, we've got an anniversary today. We've got Andrew and Keisha Daniel celebrating their anniversary today. Beautiful couple, beautiful people. A wonderful family they've created with their daughters, their children. So happy anniversary going out to you guys, and lots of love from the Tobago Updates family, from my family to yours. Love you. Have a great day. As well, we've got some, in fact, special birthdays this morning. So we've got, and I think we've got some pictures to run here. So we've got Anaya Patrick. There she is, Anaya Patrick, celebrating her birthday today. And this is my niece. Happy birthday going out to you, Anaya. So love from Uncle Oswald, Auntie Rhea, Osaze, Oshare, Oshon, Mimi, your mommy, Annie, Uncle Arthur, Uncle Junior, Auntie Elaine, everybody. Anaya, happy birthday going out to you, and lots of love
Anaya,
today.
happy birthday, Anaya.
Yeah, and then
she looks so excited and energized there.
She is.
On the move.
She's always on the move. And I know she's really surprised, but I understand that she looks at the show every morning. As well, one of our special guys throughout Tobago's media. You're talking pictures, you're talking drone pictures, you're talking pan and pictures. You're talking Leandro Nori, celebrating.
We featured him here as well.
That's right. Leandro celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday going out to you, Leandro, from your Tobago Updates family. From all of us, we love you dearly. Life is better having you in it. And, you know, we trust that you have a really great day today and a beautiful season of your life.
Yeah, we definitely want to wish all a happy birthday here coming from the Tobago Updates family. We trust that they really have an enjoyable one today. And, you know, we will continue to look forward to that, the aspiration and the growth and development here in our Tobago space and, in fact, representing us throughout the region and beyond. Ria, who do we have on our rundown this morning?
Well, you know, it's an interesting way of starting off the show, but I'll tell you, this gentleman is about fighting the cause. I've known him for a number of years, Umar Abdullah, and he is the head of the First Wave movement. And it's about fighting the cause, fighting for those who, in many instances, aren't able to fight for themselves. So he's going to be on the program chatting with us on an issue in the public space where there's an alleged medical malpractice at the TRHE. So we get some more information on that and, of course, why he decided to champion this cause.
All right. And then he will be followed on our rundown this morning by Crystal Celestine, financial advisor and finance coach, giving us some tips for that 2022 money mindset. All right. So we look forward to that segment as well, because, I mean, is there anyone out there that doesn't want to be successful and comfortable financially? Notice I'm not saying rich, notice I'm not saying wealthy, I'm just saying successful and comfortable financially. So we're going to get some tips this morning from Crystal Celestine, financial advisor and finance coach, giving us some headway into 2022.
All right, and then we're chatting with Helen Evans, who is the owner of Planet Ceramic, located down at Pigeon Point, Tobago, and, you know, indicating here that they are still open for business, so we hear more about what they have to offer all of their customers.
All right. And just before we wrap on this segment as well, Ria, the messages coming in, I almost get into some trouble there. Birthday celebrations and birthday greetings also going out to Janelle Corbin, Oprah Douglas, and Nichelle Thomas. We want to wish you a happy birthday coming from the Tobago Updates family. We trust that you have an enjoyable one today. And of course, we know it's heading to the end of the year, so we know that celebration is going to transition into Old Year's, the weekend, and New Year's celebrations. So happy birthday to you.
And saying thank you so much to Toysy. She's indicating, Ria, I love the hair. Yes, I decided to do something a little different with my hair this week. All right, it all belongs to me. So thank you so much for that. All right, and a special good morning this morning going out to Julian Rogers, our good friend Julian Rogers, located out there in Jamaica, who watches the show every morning and always has something to say.
And Ria, I remember the days of, when just a few years ago, because I'm still pretty young, but being able to sit and watch people like Julian Rogers on the morning show, not knowing that I would be here on a morning show myself. And I want to thank you for the inspiration and encouragement out there, Julian Rogers, continuing to watch our show and to give that encouragement and support. Certainly, one of those definitely outstanding in the realm of media within our entire region.
That's right.
All right.
So, as we continue to encourage you to share the live, viewers, we've got lots more coming up on the Tobago Updates morning show. So share the live.
The Grinch has gone greener. In TNT, we love to lime and laugh a lot, but our waste hurts the earth, and that has got to stop. Good thing for those going greener, stepping up to save the day. Everyday heroes in their own way. You too can show you care. Recycle aluminum, plastic, glass, and Tetra Paks with iCare. Gather up the empties. Take them to your nearest iCare spot. They're all across the country. Check iCare TT and let's clean up. Help clear our drains and landfills. Stop the flood. So simple to do good. Recycle now with iCare. Let's all do our part. Show sweet TNT we love you with all of our heart. Visit iCare TT for more info.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash in transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning,
Morning. It's 7:11 a.m. this morning, and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. And yes, we continue to connect with those of you online. Yes, and I want to say a quick shout out and good morning to Auntie Glenda Sebro. Good morning to you. William, Lloyd, Grace Stanley, good morning to each and every one of you. Thank you for the continued love and support. Folks, in this segment, we are chatting with Umar Abdullah, head of the First Wave Movement, and we speak to a very concerning issue, allegations regarding medical malpractice at the TRHE. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to all the viewers.
And this morning we want to start on the premise very firstly of giving a sense of the First Wave Movement. Tell us a little bit about who is the First Wave Movement. What is this movement about?
Well, the First Wave Movement came into being after the pandemic, when the injections started to roll out here in Trinidad and Tobago. We were very concerned, however, before that, looking at the trend, what was taking place in the country, and the science that was being used to cause people to go into panic mode. And what happened was the WHO, whom the government claimed to be taking all their science from, had indicated in a release that there was no efficacy and no data on the age bracket 60 and over, and what were these injections, what effect these injections would have in this age bracket. And caution must be given in inoculating these individuals. That was on the 7th of April, I think it was. The 13th of the very same month, the government released a press release indicating that all 60-year and over persons should take this injection. That was the Sinopharm vaccine. And that immediately raised the red flag for us. We thought that this is something that should not be happening in Trinidad and Tobago, because you would be putting the lives of our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents at risk, at serious risk, because there's no information on this particular vaccine. And we would have seen in other countries like Cambodia, Malaysia, Seychelles, where this very same vaccine would have rolled out in those countries. In January and March of this year, there was an astronomical rise in deaths in those countries immediately after. So we immediately issued a statement cautioning the government in going on that path. And that's how the First Wave Movement started. We coined the name, the First Wave Movement, and we started on this campaign of informing people, or the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, the correct science as it relates to this COVID-19, and as opposed to what government was saying.
So how does, bearing that in mind, what ultimately is the position of the First Wave Movement in terms of moving us past, or or some say we got to live with this in any event? What then is your advice outside of, in terms of outside of the concerns that may exist specifically with vaccines?
Right. We have always advocated that we are pro-vax. We are not anti-vaxxers. All right? All my children, I have myself included, would have, been vaccinated when we were young, when we were, young and so on. All my children has all their vaccines and so on.
Right.
So we are not anti-vax. we are pro-vax, but we are also pro-choice, and most importantly, pro-safe. So our advice to the public is giving the public the information that is necessary for them to make an informed choice and make an informed decision in moving forward. So we are not telling people, you know, if someone were to come to me and ask me, should I take this injection? I would start to give them the science, right? And I will allow them to make that decision, right? Now that they're fully informed. And in most cases, what you would find is after we explain the science to them and explain the trends, what is happening all over the world, they would take the position and say, no, I'm not going to take that injection.
All right. So bearing that in mind, recently we would have gone into a situation very close to you in terms of a relative that would have been taken to the hospital with particular concerns and so on, and it turns up that days later they would have been identified as having died from COVID and so on. You have raised particular allegations in terms of hospital negligence. Just give our viewers a little insight into those fundamental concerns that you have raised in relation to the matter at hand.
Right. Well, it's interesting that you said it's a family member, because actually we recognize all you know, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago as our family.
All right.
And as our comrades. So I'm glad that you said that. So we would have received a call from a resident of Tobago indicating to us that this particular incident took place where her father got ill, and he was seen by a private doctor. And the private doctor found that he presented with upper gastric problems. So the doctor would have written a letter and sent him immediately to the Scarborough Hospital up at Signal Hill. I believe you all have a copy of that letter.
Yes.
If you could pull it up on the screen. And on that letter, he indicated in his own handwriting, urgent. And so upon arriving at the hospital, the granddaughter was told that you know, she would have to wait in the waiting room and so on. She presented the letter. They told her to hold on to the letter until they'll be ready to take that letter from her. So they took him in. She noticed that, you know, they took him in, and she was not getting any communication from the doctors as to what was taking place, even though she would have inquired. And it was sometime after, about half an hour, approximately half an hour, they would have taken the letter from her. And when they took the letter from her, they indicated sometime after that he was found to have COVID-19. They found that he had a cough, and they tested him, and so they found that he had COVID-19, and that took precedent over the upper gastric problem that he originally went to the hospital with. Now, the upper gastric problem he was having, he was bleeding internally, right? He vomited, and there was a discoloration, a dark discoloration of the blood, meaning to say the blood was digested in his stomach already, and he had indications in his stool as well. So, on my conversation with the doctor, Dr. Matt, I asked him, I said, this particular problem, I noticed you put urgent on the letter. In your estimation, in your experience, what window, what time frame are we looking at in terms of this patient or this person being attended to for this problem? What is that window that if he's not attended to within that time period, you know, his problem could increase, or he may, you know, develop.
So you were trying to assess the extent of the urgency here based on what the doctor had indicated.
So what he told me, he said, if he's not attended to within 6 hours, because the hospital at that time had was supposed to have done a robust investigation, this was his exact words, into finding out where the blood was coming from. That was their first and foremost, responsibility at that point in time. Remember what I said? They took the letter half an hour after from the girl, from his granddaughter. So that would have taken away half an hour from the 6 hours that they had. A couple hours after, she was informed that he had COVID and they wanted to take him up at the hill at the fort, right, at the COVID-19 screening area. So we would have had a couple hours gone there again. So they eventually, between the day he went in, between the 3rd and the 4th, he was taken up to the fort. All right? So that would have been a couple of hours well, because into the night, into the following morning, he was taken up to the fort.
So that would have been at the Signal Hill Fort?
No, not at the COVID-19 screening area.
Okay, all right, okay.
Right? Signal Hill, that's a new hospital.
Right.
So he was originally taken there. When he was taken up there, at no point in time was the granddaughter informed what procedure was being used or what was being done to address the letter or the problem that he came in to the hospital with.
So you're saying that they only zoned in and focused on the fact that as far as they identified, he presented as positive for COVID.
Right. And that is what they needed to treat with. Right. Forget what he came in for. Right. He could have fell out a ladder. He could have gotten in an accident, head busted, just positive for COVID, we had to treat him for COVID. You understand? That's the impression that I'm getting. So when he went up to the fort there, they kept him there. They communicated this information with her via telephone. All right? But because when he was there at the Scarborough hospital, he was not given any water to drink, nor any food. All right? Because he kept asking for water and kept asking for food. He was hungry. He was thirsty. Right? They refused to charge his phone so that the family could have had communication with him. And his phone, so the family had to take the phone away from him and so on. So they communicated that with them over the phone, that he was being taken to the hospital there and so on. When they got there, again, no information whatsoever. What was taking place? What was he being treated for? Was the problem that he originally went in there for, were they attending to that as well? Or were they just attending to the fact that he had COVID, right? So eventually what happened up there, his oxygen level was perfect when he went into the hospital. They informed the family that his oxygen level dropped, and it further deteriorated when he went up there at the fort. And eventually they decided that they would have to send him back to the original hospital that he went to in the first place, right? Because they were not able to provide the oxygen, the type of oxygen relief that he wanted at the time. So en route from the fort back to Scarborough Hospital, he died.
Wow. And when we look at the overall situation, and you've raised a lot there in terms of some broad concerns, but the time is winding down for the interview. But I really want to get a sense from you and the relatives going forward. What can we anticipate? How do you intend to really ensure that this situation, I would say rather, does not occur for others to be affected?
Well, one of the things that we are hoping that would happen is that the new Secretary of Health would get personally involved in this matter from the level that she represents, right? Looking at the procedures that is being adopted now as normal in these institutions, and it's causing a lot of stress on patients and on the family unit as well. Because when it is you're not being communicated what is going on with your family,
it puts you in a very uncomfortable...
Yeah, it does. And this is something that needs to be addressed. And the other thing is that something has to be done as regards to the protocols that is followed when persons go to the hospital for, whatever ailment that they have or whatever problems that exist. so that that problem should take precedent over everything else. You're telling me that a cough took precedent over internal bleeding? When has that ever happened in the medical history in Trinidad and Tobago?
And this seems very serious concerns being raised there again, specific to the fact that, and I like the fact that you have made the call, and we really look forward to hearing from the Secretary on this matter in relation to looking at the protocols, looking at the procedures that exist currently within our healthcare system. Because we know for some time there's been some concerns regarding healthcare, and she may be new to office, but it definitely means I know that she's been forced to hit the ground running, and we really trust that you would be able to get some kind of follow-up in order to ensure, yes, we may not be able to bring back, but at the end of the day to ensure that others aren't affected similarly. So folks, this morning we've heard here from Umar Abdullah, head of the First Wave movement, indicating and communicating the situation as is for the relative that has passed on, and we extend our condolences from here from the Tobago Updates family, and we really look forward to seeing the follow-up here based on these allegations that have been identified, all in an effort to ensure that our healthcare system, particularly in these pandemic times, are working for us. Folks, we encourage you to continue to share the live here at the Tobago Updates morning show. Coming up in the next segment, we will have Ria chatting with Crystal Celestine, financial advisor and finance coach. And I say to you, rock back, relax. Get ready for the ladies in red. You'll understand why I've said that by the time we get to the next segment. We encourage you to continue to share the live, share the live, share the live.
To all Tobagoonians and visitors of this beautiful island, the Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is seeking your efforts and support in keeping a clean and organized, friendly environment. In doing so, drop-off bins are located at strategic areas around Tobago for your recyclable materials such as plastics, aluminum and steel cans, glass bottles and Tetra packs in bags, and let's protect our environment. Our own Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is here to propel that change. Look for the white bin nearest to your area.
The Grinch has gone greener. In TNT, we love to lime and laugh a lot, but our waste hurts the earth, and that has got to stop. Good thing for those going greener, stepping up to save the day. Everyday heroes in their own way. You too can show you care. Recycle aluminum, plastic, glass, and Tetra Paks with iCare. Gather up the empties. Take them to your nearest iCare spot. They're all across the country. Check iCare TT and let's clean up. Help clear our drains and landfills. Stop the flood. So simple to do good. Recycle now with iCare. Let's all do our part. Show sweet TNT we love you with all of our heart. Visit iCare TT for more info.
Carnival is the time when you let yourself go to that place in your soul that your mind want to go, holding on to a bumper and just whining away your life. So when you see them girls coming and they whining down low, it have nobody outside there, you know? And that's a sad thing, because we want to get back to some level of normalcy, and the only way to do that is by taking the vaccine. So TNT, let's do this. Let's get back to normal. Please don't hesitate. Vaccinate.
Citizens, get the vaccine for you, me, and TNT. Kindly sponsored by NLCB, DeSalcott.
Jump up and down like you just don't care. It's carnival time. You could feel it in the air. This I wanna go on clear.
Talk, watch, and listen to win big this Christmas with a Digicel Prime Bundle. The more you watch, cheer, and dance to your favorite Digicel apps, the more chances you have to win thousands of shake-to-win prizes. Enter to win grand prizes of $100,000, home appliances, and groceries valued at $50,000 or free Digicel services for a year. Visit My Digicel or dial *323# to buy a Prime Bundle today. And talk, watch, listen to win big with Digicel. Better together this Christmas.
Good morning, good morning. Put a put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning.
Morning. Viewers, welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. I am privileged this morning to be chatting with my very good friend, Crystal Celestin. And yes, we are the ladies in red this morning. You see why? Yeah, you see why? Yeah, thank you, Julian. All right, and this morning, viewers, we are talking about the 2022 money mindset. 4 tips to reach your financial goals in 2022. Crystal, good morning and welcome.
Good morning and good morning, Tobago.
It's a pleasure to have you on set with us. You look lovely in your red, let me say.
We are so do you.
Thank you, darling. And we are the ladies in red this morning. Now, Crystal, you are a financial advisor and finance coach. And this is something you have attained. This is a title you've attained over the last few years. You were a teacher. And then you just blossomed into this financial guru on social media, and persons are asking, so what do I do? How do I do this? I need to make more money, you know, and you were sharing from your life experiences how you were able to double, triple your income, you know, in a very short space of time.
Right. Yeah. So I wouldn't call myself a guru first and foremost, but
okay.
One of the things I have been learning from experience, I have been doing a lot of research. Every financial mistake that exists out there, I would have done it, and I would have learned from it. And because I've noticed there are so many people making the same mistakes, I've decided to go on this journey where I am trying to, you know, just spread financial literacy as much as I possibly can. So that is actually one of my mandates, is to spread literacy, financial literacy throughout Tobago as much as possible. So I'm here basically to talk about reaching your financial goals and basically having a money mindset for 2022. And one of the things I want to ask the viewers out there, I want you to think about 2021. How would you assess your financial situation or your goals for 2021? So I want you to rate yourself, 1 being absolutely terrible and 10 being awesome. So think about it. How would you assess your financial goals and your ability to meet them this year? So if you are in the range of 1 to 3 or 1 to 5, then we have some serious work to do for 2020, right? I was listening to somebody on Facebook and they were saying, listen, after everything that we went through in 2020 and 2021, why even have a financial plan? Just sit down, relax, and enjoy the ride for 2022 because you don't know what's happening. But it's so important for us to have financial goals and plans set in order to get where we want to get to in 2022. So I'm hoping that I'm able to at least give persons some tips to reach where they want to get to in 2022.
Well, let's get right into it because I'm sure persons are ready and waiting to know how they can start the year. Of course, you know, January 1st is when we have all of these plans and goals, and we have New Year's resolutions, and we want to start off on the 1st of January to see how far we go. Some of us fall short by the end of the month, halfway into the month. But how do we start? Tell us tip number 1.
All right, so tip number 1 is you need to sit down and really have a vision for your life. If you had your best life, now everything is about seasons, right? So we are entering the 2022 season. If you had to have your best life in 2022, what would it look like? So you start listing the things that you want to do in 2022. And I recently held up a planning workshop online. And one of the things I had my clients do was to plan for the different areas in your life. Because every area in your life would affect your finances. So for example, most of us, we start off the year talking about want to lose weight, want to eat better. That's going to affect your finances. So you need to have a plan. Do you want to go to the gym? Do you want to start eating clean? That is going to cost something. So you need to have that plan in place, or that goal in place, so that we can know how it affects the money. What do you want to do with your family, your relationships, your friends? Because that is going to affect your money. That's a category that's going to affect your money. So you have to have goals. Do you want to have a villa weekend with the hubby? Do you want to have a birthday lime for little Susie or whatever? That's a goal, and it's going to affect your money. So you need to set goals to different areas in your life. Do you want to start a business? Those are business goals. You need to have a vision for these different aspects. So there are 8 aspects. I will run through them very quickly that you need to plan for. So one, I would have mentioned your physical and your well-being. You need to have goals for that. You need to have goals for your family and your relationships. You need to have emotional and mental goals, because there are things that we're going to be doing during the year to help us to distress. That is going to affect your money, whether it's the spa, your nails. I'm speaking from a female perspective, of course, right? You're going to have to plan for your business and your career, have goals for that, have goals for spiritual goals. That is also going to affect your money. You need to have goals for your, you need to have goals for your, for your business. I think I said business already. For your finances, sorry. So your finances, you need to have goals. And those are just some of the areas that definitely, material things as well, and your hobbies, you definitely need to plan for those.
Material things and hobbies?
And hobbies, yes. So
interesting how material things and hobbies go in the same category. Crystal, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there.
So if you know, if you like to travel, that would be a hobby. So that's going to affect your money, of course. Yeah. So you need to have a goal for that. So material things will be like, I want house, land, car, those kind of things. So we separate those two.
Okay, cool. All right, and all of this falls under vision
and goal plan. Yes, setting goals and setting your vision. Yes.
All right, and what is the second one?
The second tip, and I know we're not going to like this tip, but we need to set a budget and stick to it. So after we have listed all the lovely things we want to do for 2022, we need to set a budget. So a budget is a little bit more than just writing down things on a paper. What you need to do is you need to look at all your goals and put a money value to them. So if it is that you want to go to the dentist, that has to be on your budget. If you want to travel, you need to start budgeting for that, because it means you might have to put aside some money every month to be able to get to this travel goal that we want to get to. So setting a budget, listing all your expenses, listing your income, and trying to manage that, as well as setting aside to meet your goals.
Okay. And tip number 3.
So tip number 3 is you need to start building your emergency fund. Now, what an emergency fund is it's supposed to be 3 to 6 months of your recurring expenses. So every month you have to try to put away just a little bit, just so you can have money in case something happens. And we know 2020, 2021, lots of unforeseen situations arose.
That's true.
So in 2022, we're not going to be caught off guard. We're going to start putting away in our emergency fund. So that's another tip. So every time you earn some money, get a percentage of that has to go towards the emergency fund. Even if it's $100 per month, if that's what you could afford, start building an emergency kitty. So that's the third tip to being able to get to your financial goals.
Wow. Crystal, I'm heading to the fourth and final tip in just a little while, but I want to say here, 2020, 2021, we didn't expect this.
Right.
And a lot of persons were, according to you, making plans every year of, things that they're going to do better. I think our eyes were opened in 2020 to the reality that we were in a bad state. A lot of persons financially. 2021, when persons might have been looking to see what they could have done, things were just, by that time, the economy was going downhill. So looking at our economy, looking at where we are, some persons they've maxed out their savings.
Right.
This is just before we get to tip number 4, what can we do immediately to make that change?
Well, if it is that you've maxed out your savings and, money, income is an issue right now, I would definitely advocate for trying to create additional streams of income. Now, it is not as hard as it sounds, right? It is really not. what you have to do is find something that you are passionate about and monetize it. It could be as simple as baking bread on weekends. That is going to bring in additional income to take care of bills, to take care of something, to add to some emergency kitty that you would have been planning for. So find your passion, understand what you are good at. And it could, as I said, it's not as big as it sounds. If it is that you're good at flower arrangements, you can have a flower arrangement class in your community with young people. You charge people $50 per hour on a Saturday. That's going to bring in some type of income to be able to help offset your situation.
Thank you so much for that. And our fourth and final tip.
Right. So actually that led to the fourth tip. The fourth tip, listen, guys, 2022, we need to start creating additional streams of income. If you only have one income stream, you are one step away from poverty. So this year, we need to create additional sources as much as possible, whether it's in investing, whether it's in starting a new business. You need to have different streams of income. That is going to help you to get to your financial goals.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Crystal Celestine. It's always a pleasure to have you on set with us.
And it's always good to be here. Yeah.
All right. Maybe the next time we'll see what colors we wear. All right. Now, viewers, we are heading over to Candace Jackson at this time. And Candace is chatting this morning with Helen Evans. And it's all about Planet Ceramic located down at Pigeon Point, Tobago. Hello there, Candace.
Good morning, Ria, and of course, good morning, Julian, as well. It is 7:42, and I am here in Pigeon Point at Planet Ceramics, where we are going to talk to Miss Helen Evans, who's going to tell us a little bit about one of her passions that she has turned into a business. Of course, a passion of art and so on. So come with me, and let me show you a little bit about what I am talking about. All right, good morning, Helen.
Good morning, and thank you for coming down this morning.
Right, and great, and welcome to Tobago Updates. So, as the title of your business says, you are Planet Ceramics. But, I mean, and ceramics in terms of, you know, bowls and dishes and jewelry and that sort of thing. But you have a very unique spin on your art. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do here in Pigeon Point?
Well, I handcraft all the products myself. It's all made of clay, high-fired stoneware, so it's really durable. And I specialize in glazes and developing different colors, which I apply to lots of different products. So we make everything from bowls and jewelry and Christmas decorations.
And folks, it is very, very beautiful. If you look at some of, and I think the cameraman might be able to, you know, show us a little bit about some of the beautiful art here. And as Helen was explaining, you know, it's a special glaze that she has been able to develop to bring all these beautiful colors. And I know that some of your inspiration has come from Pigeon Point itself.
Absolutely, especially the turquoises and the blues. I mean, it's so inspiring here in Pigeon Point and Tobago in generally. So that's why the colors hopefully reflect what we see around us. Mm-hmm. Even the pinks are inspired by the sunsets.
Mm-hmm. And so tell me a little bit about, you know, how did you get started in such an art?
I studied ceramic design in London, actually, before I came to Tobago, and I arrived here in 1998 when I set up the business with the help from my parents. But it's developed over the years, and especially during these times, we've introduced new products and different services. So we now do the pottery classes for children and adults. Mm-hmm. We've moved everything outdoors, added windows for ventilation. So it keeps kind of developing. So when customers come back, there's always something new for them to see. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And tell me about how has things been for you? I mean, of course, you have set up your shop right on the beach here. I mean, drawing inspiration and, of course, having your place set so that you could even train other persons into this art. But how has it been past 2 years, you know, with your business?
It's been really awful. I mean, when we first locked down, it wasn't too bad. But this last 8 months, when the beaches were shut, was it was really, really, really terrible. And I think we're lots of small businesses down here. We rely on people coming and visiting the beach, and with the beaches shut, it honestly really, really, really terrible. But very, very grateful to be open again now, even just for 4 hours in the morning.
Of course.
Open from 8 to 12. It's a start. So I'm really, really happy to be back here in the shop.
And I know also during this time that you've been at home, you've taken some time to even be better at your craft and to, you know, experiment a bit more. So can you tell us about what you have been able to do during the downtime?
Especially the first lockdown, when I wasn't really sure what was going to happen, and I didn't want to make a lot of stock if I didn't know when more people were coming or what would happen. So I kind of focused on developing the colors and the glazes. This is a little order actually going out to a local business that supplies candle pots and materials. So we have a whole color range in different variety of textures and colors. So tried to use the time fruitfully, even though I wasn't actually able to come to the shop and open the business. So yeah.
So I mean, of course, some persons may ask, it's like, were you not able to, like, you know, be able to do this at another location?
Well, we just didn't really know what was happening. So nobody knew. So if I'd known I was going to be shut for 8 months, maybe I might have looked into another space. But I just kept thinking, well, we'll probably open soon. But it took so long. So, but I do custom orders and little orders for other shops and house signs and things like that. So I had a few little things kind of keeping me going. But it's been a really hard slog trying to, and then when we get the lockdown, I pack everything away. It all gets dusty and dirty, and then you have a massive clean-up operation to get it back into a workable state. So there's a lot of work in opening and closing all the time. So hopefully, I really hope this is the last time we have to go through that.
Yes, we're all hoping so, because I mean, none of us want to see the beaches be closed. I mean, I took a walk, just, you know, folks, you know, it's sunrise in Pigeon Point, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Of course, I mean, you may not be able to come in at this time. However, if you ever get a chance, it is very beautiful. I mean, and it is wonderful to have the beaches open again. So, but tell us, how has it been since the beaches have opened? Have you been able to have a bit of foot traffic through your business?
Yeah, before Christmas, I had lots of customers come through. Really happy to be able to come back to the beach and come shopping. We've got about half of the shops open down here at the moment, so it's well worth coming and popping into the shops, you know, when you come to the beach. So do come down and have a look. And I'm hopeful for the future. I think we've got some international flights arriving, hopefully. And the domestic tourism is always really great when the Trinidadians come over. So, yeah.
Yes. All right, and of course, like you said, you are also helping to train persons in Tobago. Now, I know you may not have been able to do much of that over the past couple of years, but I mean, how have you been able to inspire other Tobagoonians to be creative, especially in ceramics and with the different colors and things like that you experiment with? How has that been?
Well, I had a whole plan worked out, a work experience plan where youngsters would come in for a 6-week program, and from that then they would be offered a job depending on availability and everything. So I had my first 2 apprentices just before COVID, and that kind of halted the whole operation. So I really hope to get that back and going again soon. And there's also the workshops. So we run the workshops for families and children. It's a different thing, but it does give people a chance to touch clay and be creative and develop have a little taster of what ceramics is before they decide if they want to go into it. But I do think that Tobago is a wonderful place for creativity because there's so much inspiration. So.
Tell me a little bit about your inspiration, and how did you come up with some of these pieces? Like, even as, we've seen, we could look at the Christmas tree. Helen did some gorgeous ornaments. It's a very different type of a Christmas tree, but very beautiful at the same time. Like, how were you able to come up with some of these pieces?
Well, I just wanted to have a Caribbean Christmas tree, especially in these times. When I was debating, I wasn't even sure if we'd open for Christmas, so I did get the Christmas tree out, and we have these little animals, seahorses and turtles and starfish. So I think we should really Christmas should be reflected from the island and what we have, and I think it's okay for it to be tropical and jolly. I think that's a nice thing. So, yeah.
From the persons that you've been able to meet over the years and so on, have you been able to inspire persons to venture off into this as well? Like, aside from those that you may have trained, but have you been able to inspire them to get into this kind of art?
I think there's a lot of work still to do with that. I find most people tend to go towards painting and drawing, but I would love for more people to come down here, and hopefully when we get the workshop program up and running again and the interns, that it will be something I would like to do.
Great. And now for just a little advice for Tobagoodians and so on who are looking to get into the creative sector. Even though we know that COVID has been tough on everyone, what advice or what encouragement would you like to give to them?
I think you just have to get out and be creative, and it doesn't, ceramics is difficult because you need a lot of materials and equipment, but you can always find a paper and a pencil. It starts from there, from drawing and just using what's around you, and you always, I'd love for people to come down and visit the shop and maybe do a workshop. If there's any way that I could help, I'm open, so please get in touch, and just be creative.
All right, folks, so there you have it. So come down and see what there is to offer, and you can learn, and perhaps you could even venture off into ceramics as well. Like Helen said, she's willing to help, and she's willing to train, and she's willing to inspire you into this beautiful art form. It's very unique and very vibrant and very Caribbean and Tobago. So folks, that's it from me, and I would just like to thank you for viewing with us, and I think we're about to go to a break right now, so we'll see you after the break with Ria and Julian in studio. That's it from me.
The Grinch has gone greener. In TNT, we love to lime and laugh a lot, but our waste hurts the earth, and that has got to stop. Good thing for those going greener, stepping up to save the day. Everyday heroes in their own way. You too can show you care. Recycle aluminum, plastic, glass, and Tetra Paks with iCare. Gather up the empties. Take them to your nearest iCare spot. They're all across the country. Check iCare TT and let's clean up. Help clear our drains and landfills. Stop the flood. So simple to do good. Recycle now with iCare. Let's all do our part. Show Sweet TNT we love you with all of our heart. Visit iCare TT for more info.
Talk, watch, and listen to win big this Christmas with a Digicel Prime Bundle. The more you watch, cheer, and dance to your favorite Digicel apps, the more chances you have to win thousands of shake-to-win prizes. Enter to win grand prizes of $100,000, home appliances, and groceries valued at $50,000 or free Digicel services for a year. Visit My Digicel or dial *323# to buy a Prime Bundle today. And talk, watch, listen to win big with Digicel. Better together this Christmas.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning. Viewers, welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It's just about that time in our program when we get to hear about this day in Tobago history. And now it's over to Devon Adana.
This day in Tobago history. Did you know that on December 29, 1856, according to Henry Woodcock's A History of Tobago, 165 years ago today, the process for dealing with acts and legislation passed by the legislature came into legal effect? When the Act for enacting and promulgating the laws came into being, it provided that the governor shall affix the Great Seal of the island to 10 copies of all acts that shall be passed by the legislature. These copies were to be certified, meaning the attested copies would be of equal value and effect as the original. The copies were to be deposited with the following high-ranking Tobago officers: the governor, the president of the Legislative Council, the Speaker of the Assembly, the Chief Justice, the Colonial Secretary, the Law Officer of the Crown, the Treasurer, the Secretary of the Executive Committee, the Provost Marshal, and the Inspector of Police. Formerly, the record of all acts passed were kept by the Colonial Secretary. The passing of this act meant that process would be discontinued. This record was a book of manuscript laws in which all the acts of the islands were fairly copied and was a very convenient reference. You've been watching This Day in Tobago History. My name is Devon Adana. Back to you in studio, Ria.
Anna, and I trust that all is going well?
Yes, a little under the weather, but I am fighting through.
Fight it with all that you have.
Right.
So all the best to you today.
Best to you today. Thank you. You too.
Okay then. Bye bye. So there you have it, viewers. This Day in Tobago History with Devon Adana. Now, viewers, we are switching gears just a little bit. We are chatting at this time with Siobhan Mahias, and Siobhan is a published author. The name of her book, Jade's Trip into Town. So she's here to chat with us about this book and what else she's got up her sleeves for 2022. Good morning and welcome to you, Siobhan.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now we're jumping right into things. We're talking here this morning about Jade's Trip into Town. And this is your book that was written back in
2018.
2018. So there we have it. Let me see if I get it straight up. All right, there we got it. Jade's Trip into Town. Yeah? I think we got that. Nice. Jade's Trip into Town. Now, let's talk about what you were doing before writing books.
Okay. I was working in the insurance industry for about 10 years. Before that, I was doing massage therapy. I'm still doing massage therapy to today.
Right.
And I'm just a creative soul. I just get involved in many things, and because of my passion, I excel at them.
Okay.
Through God's grace, of course.
All right. I like that. Now tell us about Jade's Trip into Town and what inspired this book.
Okay, well, when I became pregnant in 2011, since I was a young child, I wrote poems and music, songs, everything. And I didn't really think about children. I never even held a child before I had Jade, right? So when I became pregnant...
So hold on. Okay, let's get this straight, Siobhan. So Jade is your baby's name?
Yes. She's my daughter. She's going to be 10 now.
Wow.
Yes. So Jade is real.
Jade is real.
And she actually gave me inputs in the book I'm writing right now, my second book. She's old enough now to be a part of the process.
Okay.
It's really cool. So
you never held a child before, Jade?
Right. So I got inspired to write. I said, I wonder what, let me see if I could write anything children related, because that wasn't on my agenda. And I wrote this while I was pregnant, and then it took me so many years to meet Marlon and Patrina Carrillo, and also Tia. She was the first person to help me to illustrate the book, and it was completed. Pastor Marlon and Patrina Carrillo from down in Crown Point, right? They actually illustrated the book and brought it to life. But the book is a series. I was supposed to be doing one every year, but you know how that goes. So the vision of the book is to bring awareness locally and globally to the social and taboo issues plaguing our children. So this was supposed to be like an icebreaker book. This book just more or less teaches the child like how to respond It sheds light on the importance of obedience and how to react if you become lost or forgotten, like on a field trip or out in a group. How do you interact with strangers? It highlights on social and motor skills, creativity, emotional awareness. There's actually an index in the back of the book, but it's by no means a educational book only. It's also a storybook, right?
Right.
But it can work, it can work in the educational arena as well. It went to the ECC center, some private schools. I did not get any response from the Ministry of Education on the book as yet, but it has been used by various teachers as a teaching tool as well. I have a page on Facebook called Shiv Life, the author. If you go there, you'd see like me going into different schools and reading the book with the children at the end of the term. They used it to...
Well, you know, there is a new secretary for the Division of Education, and I'm thinking here you can approach the division and you know, present your book, because I think it's beautiful. I've been involved in early childhood education for over 18 years, and I'm telling you, this here is a definite must-read for early readers.
Yes, I would definitely go back to the ministry, to THE Education, and see what can be done.
Okay.
So because it's a series addressing different taboo topics, you know, taboo topics are more heavy topics, like incest, molestation, bullying, all the things that are happening currently that most parents don't know how to bring it up, how to introduce it, how to address it. The aim of this series is to gently introduce those heavy topics. So the one I'm doing right now is called Jade Learns About Safe Touch. It is addressing incest and molestation in a gentle way. It's nothing graphic or direct. And it is like a conversation starter.
You're saying it's nothing graphic or direct, and I'm wondering here if that might not be a better approach. I think we've dealt with the gentle approach, but it's entirely up to you.
No, it's a gentle but effective approach. Okay. Because you also don't want to bring too much fear in the hearts of the children. So you want to guide them, so to speak, so they have awareness and they know how to respond in the event of, without them literally visualizing something graphic. You know?
Now, but as it pertains to this Jade strip into town, you still have some more copies on sale, yes?
Yes, I'm actually on my last batch of books. I think this series did really well. I would have sold more than 800 copies, and I have a few left now. It was initially selling for $60. It is on sale for $40 at this time. So guys, if you haven't had a copy of Jade Strip into Town as yet, you can contact me at 868-479-6629 and purchase a copy. Give your child, your godchildren, a child a mental meal.
I love it. A mental meal. This is a beautiful gift. Now, you are also working on, tell us about from baggy pants to string bikinis.
Okay, right. So I used to enjoy wearing string bikinis in my teens, and probably maybe for the past 15 years or so, I have been unable to enjoy my body in my strings because I would have gained weight, and it would have come with like a loss of some of my confidence and all the rest that goes with it. This is just a personal journey. I decided to share it probably like a month for the most. I released this page, and I realized it was picking up in momentum. People hailing me out on the road, "Hey, strings, baggy pants, is it you?" And the movement is growing now where people are joining me physically in exercise, also messaging, asking advice, and I have lost 10 pounds in the last 24 days. Today is day 24. Wow. So if I wasn't here now, I would be on French Fort, and I have this updates going live all the time on the page. So guys, if you want to lose some weight like me, you want to get your confidence back, you want to have a holistic change, it's not a challenge, it's a lifestyle change, it's a commitment forever. It's a commitment forever. If you want to come and become involved, you can look up the page on Facebook, From Baggy Pants to String Bikinis. And you could also contact me, and I'm really cool and approachable, so we could get something done.
And that's true. She really is. All right. Thank you so much, Siobhan, for chatting with us this morning on the program. And we trust that all goes well for you. All the best to you for 2022.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, we've got to say goodbye to you at this time. We are going to take a break, viewers. We continue to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Talk, watch, and listen to win big this Christmas with a Digicel Prime Bundle. The more you watch, cheer, and dance to your favorite Digicel apps, the more chances you have to win thousands of shake-to-win prizes. Enter to win grand prizes of $100,000, home appliances, and groceries valued at $50,000 or free Digicel services for a year. Visit My Digicel or dial *323# to buy a Prime Bundle today. And talk, watch, listen to win big with Digicel. Better together this Christmas.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Morning viewers, and welcome back to this final segment in the Tobago Updates morning shows. We come to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Really, this has been a great morning, continuing to interact and connect and to bring the information here from Tobago. I see we even have Antigua and Barbuda in the house this morning, Rhea, as well, joining us on the live.
Very nice, very nice. A special good morning to Alicia George, Grace Stanley, Nadine Nichols, Dora Lyons, Russell Morrison joining us again. Julian Skeet, I see you on the live.
Yes. Want to shout out to Teresa Kuki joining in, Anne-Marie Brathwaite joining in on the live. Auntie Glenda, Auntie Vanilla, good morning to you. Good morning, morning.
Your Auntie Glenda?
No, this is, well, both Auntie Glendas.
Well, good morning,
this is
Auntie
my
Glenda.
Auntie Glenda Jones and also Auntie Glenda Sebro, which is Lavian's Auntie Glenda from Bright Gems and Auntie Vanilla. So it's saying good morning here. We want to thank you all for continuing to log in to the live to connect with us here on the Tobago Updates morning show.
All right, but we want to thank you guys for joining us today. And over the next couple of days, we trust that you're going to share some of those New Year's resolutions with us. We've got an exciting program coming up on Old Year's Day, or what we, the foreigners say, New Year's Eve. But we call it Old Year's Day in the Caribbean. So we've got an exciting program. So we encourage you to stay with us, continue to share the live, and join us on the program. Have a great day. Remember to stay safe on the roads. Wear your mask, sanitize, and Julian, socially distance.
Bye-bye, folks. Yes, Garfield, I've seen you on the live. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.